A yard on the game's first play. It's second down.
A gain of a yard brings up 2nd and 9 at the 21-yard line.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. From the gun, it's Wilson. And a big loss here as he's taken down.
Well, if an offense is going to throw the ball in this part of the field, any pass rusher will tell you that's his favorite part. Gets a chance to get after the quarterback. It's almost like a reverse red zone. They can create points using their defense, and this time they take their man down.
3rd and long. It's Wilson trying to lay one up deep. Oh, he almost picked it. Nearly a turnover there on their opening drive. And that's a throw he'd like to have back. Now 4th down.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
Now a late flag comes in as they got him down via the face mask, and that'll give him even better starting position. So the face mask puts them in even better shape than they were in, as they'll have a short field here on 1st and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. Stopped at the 24-yard line after a gain of 5.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5. They'll run it now out of the gun. And able to get about 3 as he's taken down right at the 20.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball. And that way, you often control the game.
It's a gain of 4 there, and it gives them a new set of downs. Had a chance to maybe limit them to 3 if they could have gotten that stop there, but a new set of downs.
And with a new set of downs, you got to take the mentality of the whole thing. Right now, everyone's looking at the offense and saying they've got the advantage. The best defenses just say, okay, new set of downs, gives us another chance to make a play ourselves and maybe change things up.
It's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Travis Kelce, his 2nd touchdown on the season, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. Point after, right down the middle. And that makes the score 7-0. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive as we grind toward the end of the season here, and they haven't had the season that they had hoped. So let me ask you to play GM. Where might they look to make some changes?
I think when you look into the upcoming draft, think hard about them drafting multiple offensive linemen. They've got to get stouter up front. And as a GM, it always tells me, Charles, this is a big boy league, and big people always end up winning games for you.
And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
But he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral. Also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set it.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Tack McKinley, he continues to wreak havoc in the offensive backfield. Sack number 16 on the year. Now, following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17. Now Wilson, and he's going to go down again.
That was their 3rd sack of the ball game. 2nd in the league in sacks coming into this one. They're planning on making it a race to the top, aren't they?
Absolutely. They're looking up at that top spot, but they might be looking down at the 2nd spot pretty soon. Here's Wilson to throw. And incomplete. Marquise Blair, second-round pick from Utah, there to bat it away.
I think the punter might start to get into a pretty good rhythm here if he keeps getting opportunities. But that's the last thing his team wants to have happen, right? The last thing you want to see is your punter feeling pretty good because he's out there all the time.
Yeah, first quarter only, but they're 0 for 2 on third down conversions to start this thing. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And they'll be looking to make this a 2-score advantage. Had the touchdown on their first drive, Charles. Hey, they can get up 2 scores here on the road. That's a heck of a start.
And not only have they thought about it, I wonder if they visualized it. I remember playing and they used to turn the lights out in our meeting room and run through a situation like this and say, just think about what it would be like to be up on the road and take the crowd out of it. Maybe they did some of that.
The catch and run pays off for 29 yards. So the ball moves into Lion territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 43. On first down, Swift. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
On 2nd down now, Swift. It'll be a gain of 5, but still about 3 yards shy of the first down marker, and now it's 3rd down.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
On 3rd down, Swift. And all the way inside the 15 before they drop it. Well, they were in search of a short gain on 3rd down, and they wind up nabbing over 20 yards.
Hey, defense, let's go. Pick it up, Steve. Shift. Go out. Check 99. Check 99. Slam. Hey, alert 3. Check 52. Protein spill. Check 4. 6 guys. Check go.
First carry for Royce Freeman. He's taken down at the 7 after a gain of 7. Pretty effective run there, and now they can start to smell that end zone.
Pound the rock. Make sure you use your O-line to set the tone of dominance and physicality, and pound the rock.
On 2nd down, it's Freeman, and he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line.
I hope we give enough respect to the big guys up front because they have been getting it done on this drive. The holes have been large, and they've been barreling through them, picking up first downs.
Leo. He's coming. Double up. Kill. Squeeze. Kill. Turn up. Watch out.
X3. 218. Chopper. Down.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And this one will wind up with him losing yardage. Back to the 4-yard line. Now whistles and a timeout. Looks like we've got a Viking slow to get up. While the training staff works on him, we'll step aside and be right back. From back at the 4, here's 2nd and goal. Now it's Freeman. And he'll get blown up behind the line of scrimmage. Back at the 6. That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up 3rd down.
The short field shrinks even more with the type of bodies they brought in on that play. Those extra tight ends, they weren't able to secure their blocks, and that one ended up going backwards.
They need to reverse the trend. The last 2 plays have gone backwards. Now it's 3rd and goal. That's caught. It's Thomas. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. Able to hold him to just 2 yards, and now it's 4th and goal. The Vikings with the football here to begin the 2nd quarter. They are, however, facing a 4th down situation. And his kick is good. And the lead moves to 10-zip. A good drive gets them inside the 5, but they could not punch it in.
And credit the defense, too. Make sure that happens because that was the old bend but don't break approach. Made sure they contained them when they absolutely had to and forced the field goal attempt that went through.
And in hindsight, probably should have stayed where he was as he'll only get back to the 16-yard line. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on 3rd. down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a first down and change our momentum?
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. They'll run it with Johnson. And that closed up quickly there as he gets it up only to about the 17. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
A gain of 1 brings up 3rd down.
Let's go. 60 Pittsburgh. Smooth.
Stop, G. Big stop. Let's go.
He'll look to throw. The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. The Mississippi State man, Chris Jones, with a sack there. Coming off the line, he's been wreaking havoc all year. And look, that's why, as a result, he's getting some looks for Defensive Player of the Year in the NFL.
And I know that many people don't have him first on their list right now, but he deserves that type of consideration. You mentioned it. All year long, he's made big plays and continues to do so. Imagine if he has a big game here. If so, he can vault himself right into the #1 spot.
Good starting field position for the Vikings as they have it 1st and 10 right at the 50-yard line. He's going to take a shot right away for the end zone. Oh, he had 6 points in his hands there. Couldn't hang on. 2nd down. So they'll come up after the incompletion for 2nd down. It's a give to Freeman running right. The 20. And finally out of bounds inside the 5 at the 4. A big run there by Freeman. 46 yards.
Here we go. 50, plant.
Check right. Watch safety green. Watch it go.
They'll run here with Freeman. And the hole closes quickly here. He can fight only to about the 4. Only a yard on the pickup there. 2nd and goal.
I know he might be a little winded after that previous long run, but now you're in goal-to-goal situation. That changes what you do defensively, and it worked for them on that play.
Maybe trying to reward him after that long run. We'll see if they go back to him again on the ground. And just a short gain that time as they're able to get him down. They get 3 yards closer, but still work to do. It's 3rd and goal. 2 straight shots on the ground. Now on 3rd, do you go to the air?
I think the possibility exists, and if you're doing it, you're probably going play action since you ran it twice. But I often think that 2nd down is the time you go play action and throw the ball. I say commit to the run and think about it being 4-down territory.
And he will take this one into the end zone for a Viking touchdown. A great effort there. His first touchdown on the year. And the Vikings are going to widen that advantage. Extra point right down the middle. And that makes our score 17-0. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the 2nd quarter, but you're down.
You don't want to.
I know, but let me finish.
Okay, my bad.
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called it desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it, you mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that. They've got to find a way to get on their toes and start punching instead of retreating, to use a boxing analogy.
They'll look to throw here. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And just a small glimpse there as to why they like this rookie so much.
And that's why they lit up a little bit in our meetings with the coaching staff, didn't
when
they?
we talked about him, they did.
Yeah, they like his work ethic. This guy's running every route well in the route tree and getting better at it all the time, really honing his game. They expect a pretty good jump out of him as things continue to move on.
They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a 1st down. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Johnson takes to midfield, but no further. Just a yard there.
Johnson, the ball
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
Now this one to his tight end out on the right side. And this is going to turn into another first down as the tackle is made at the Vikings' 31-yard line. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Out of the pistol, here's Johnson. And boy, this defense again really making things tough on him as they stop him for no gain.
80 weapons. Hey, lock it.
No gain on the play. 2nd and
Get it.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. And that'll be incomplete. We do have a penalty flag down, however. Let's see what that's about. So flag for the contact, pass interference.
And I know that you're going to look at me and roll your eyes, and rightfully so, because you know what I'm going to say. Doesn't the defender have a right to the football as well?
No, I don't like defenders.
That's because you spent too much time with me. Okay, I'll side with you on this one. This is the correct call.
Defensively, pretty good start there with their backs against the wall.
That's a win for the stop troops right there. And if I'm them, I get a little bolder now. They won the first battle. Keep coming after them. Put the pressure on them.
They'll get this halfway home from the 8 to the 4 on a gain of 4.
His path became similar to almost running a stretch play, didn't it? Trying to find a crease, anywhere to put his foot in the ground and cut back. It just never materialized.
Looking to throw. And they're going to get to him. A sack. Sack back at the 9-yard line. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress, as well as scores from earlier today.
The coach.
All right, we get slap happy up here sometimes. That drive took him inside the 10. Good job defensively to hold him to 3.
Yeah, I like how you did that. Give a little tip of the cap to the stop troops there, because they didn't give up a touchdown in that situation, right? Made them kick the field goal. And, yeah, points went against them, but that feels a whole lot better running off the field.
Fairly short kick, taking it to 14 here. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30.
at their own 33-yard line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They have to be pleased with the way that they've moved the football thus far.
And why wouldn't they be? 2 touchdowns on a field goal in their first 3 possessions. They're playing so well right now, the field goal probably feels like a disappointment.
It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
You go tight. You got tight. You got tight right there. Kill. Check. Fire.
On 2nd down, Freeman. And that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. The Lions will use the first of their timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down.
Let's go. 70, Indy.
Here we go.
Shit. Greystone, travel. We got double up. Check 9. Snap.
Looking to throw. Herbert. Rush coming, and he's taken down. The Lions now going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. The Vikings send out their punter as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Watch out for Hill on the return. 12 yards on the return that time, and the Lions will take over.
At their own 32-yard line.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. It was still more than a minute to go in the half. Time to try to mount a drive.
And I would think that they would have to. This is today's NFL. You got to push it whenever you get an opportunity. You can never have enough points with the high-powered offenses that you face. And analytics will tell you, try and score when given the opportunity.
6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. 2nd and 4. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And this is going to wind up incomplete. The coverage there too strong on the deep ball, and now they face a 3rd down.
One thing I know from experience is that when the deep ball is thrown and you're the defender, you've got to fight that little bit of panic that emerges. You've got to play the ball really well. It's a 50-50 jump ball play. And guess what? They took a shot. How are you going to win it? And in this case, they managed to get it done.
Out of the gun now on 3rd down. He's got his man, T.J. Hockenson. Catch number 40 for him on the year. It's a 1st down. And the Lions quickly now going to use the last of their timeouts as the stoppage will come with 23 seconds to go till halftime.
Right there, 54, right there, 54, Mike.
Back to throw here. Going right side here, and that's complete. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. He'll look to throw. This time for Smith, and it's intercepted. Picked off inside the 10. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. Time for a final kneel down or a safe run, and then they can head to the locker room with a lead.
Yeah, or they can even run a screen. You know, something they feel is somewhat safe that might actually pop and turn into a big play. That's what you usually run in this situation.
Or go 4 verticals because why not?
Because you're feeling it, right? You're just feeling it.
The Vikings have to like their position. They've got the lead. They get this football as well as we are back and underway for the second half. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll wind up about 4 yards shy of where he would have been if he had taken a knee, as they'll start at the 21-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They built a good first-half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. Off the play fake. Herbert. He's going to fire one deep, middle of the field. And he almost had it defensively. Could have been a game changer there in this second half. Instead, it's 3rd down.
And now offensively it's 3rd and 10, and I'm just thinking to myself, actors always say, what's my motivation before a big scene? Right now the play caller's thinking, what have I done before that's worked well that I can go to right now?
Yeah, because they were pretty successful in the first half scoring points. Haven't done anything so far here in the second half. And now the 3rd down throw incomplete as well. The Vikings send out their punter as he'll kick it away for the second time. It'll wind up being a net of 41. 9-yard return, 50 on the punt. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second half?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
11 yards there and a Lion 1st down.
First downs have not come easy, and neither have runs like this throughout this game.
Absolutely not. He finally felt like, whoa, a sigh of relief. We got something going in the running game. They try and run on first down, but to no avail. Tackled for a 2-yard loss in the backfield.
Ready.
Here we go on 2nd and 12. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down.
You ain't doing nothing today.
54's Mike. 54's Mike. Check. Watch 54.
Hey, Sam off.
Let's go, Heavy.
They'll look to throw. And he's going to be swallowed up. Sacked back at the 45-yard line.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
And this will be out of bounds. Now it's a question of where they'll mark it. And they'll say it crosses at the 11-yard line.
Ready? 15.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. This crew had to punt last time they had the ball, but when you've got a lead like this, you content to play the field position game?
You are to an extent, especially if you like your defense, because you have the lead, you've been controlling the game. But why put them in a tougher spot? You want to get out there and get something done on offense and maybe take command of this game yourself.
Freeman again, a first down carry. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. It's a loss of a yard there, and it's 2nd down.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. Now this throw caught left side, and he's taken down right at the 45-yard line. It's a gain of 34. So the big play moves him all the way across midfield. It's 1st and 10 from the 45. Back to throw. Herbert. He'll take a shot for the end zone. He's got his man. It's taken in for a Viking touchdown. John Ross with touchdown number 8 on the year. And the Vikings are going to widen that advantage. Still plenty of time left in the game, but now starting to pull away a little bit. Get some breathing room with that one.
And I don't want people to think that NFL locker rooms are cookie cutter, that everyone's saying the exact same thing in every situation. But I do know that all 32 teams have an emphasis on starting fast. Game, second half, no matter what. Whether it's first 5 minutes, first 3, whatever. This was a big score to start the second half.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. They trail here by 24 points. Got to get going soon, you'd have to think, as they come up 1st and 10. He finds an opening past the 40. Good yardage as he rumbles for 24 and a first. Even from up here in the booth, the play-by-play guy could tell that there was some pretty good blocking on the right side of the line.
Well, you have good eyes, and it's almost like a ballet when it's executed that well. Everyone in the right spot, everyone in sync, everyone hitting the perfect notes. A little more percussion and a lot more bass, I would think, than you get your normal ballet. But at the same time, that was well executed. But if these guys are going to chop into that deficit, they're going to have to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
2nd and 13. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down. Went backwards. It's 3rd and very long.
You're out. Step.
They'll set up a throw. And that is incomplete.
We're into the second half now, and this is an offense that continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know. The rhythm seems off. Here comes the Lions punter now. He's been one of their few bright spots so far. This one will sail out of bounds. It'll depend on the spot here. And the side judge says that went out at the 7-yard line. The field position game, such an overlooked facet, Charles, of an NFL game, but this offense, they're going to be pinned back. What an ideal punt.
An ideal punt, and it leads to that term complementary football, because them doing that puts their defense in a great spot, doesn't it? Gives them a chance. If they want to be aggressive, try and maybe get a safety out of this whole thing, it puts them in that position.
Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6.
Squeeze.
They'll try the left side. It's Daniel, and able to get it across the 20 before they get to him. It's a gain of 11 as the Vikings pick up the first.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves them with 2 to go on 2nd down.
You know what really fires up offensive linemen? When the guy that is carrying the ball behind them can create his own space and break a tackle along the way.
Check. Check hot route. Hot.
6-6. Pull it high.
Now a first carry for their fullback. So he got free of 1 tackle but couldn't do a whole lot else.
And this is why aggressive defense coordinators love to blitz. It wreaks havoc because they end up taking their attention to the blitzers, freed up the D lineman to make the play.
Undercut.
Recon, 132 fighter.
Check 26.
Bravo. Get it.
From the gun on 3rd down. Herbert. And that's caught inside the 35. Touchdown, Vikings. A big play there. Hitting double digits with his 10th touchdown of the season. And the Vikings are going to widen that advantage. And correct me if I'm wrong, that was just a simple fly route, wasn't it?
No, there's nothing to correct at all. You've got it down pat. And I just remember as a player, when I'd be in practice sessions and I'd hear 9 from the receivers, that meant fly route, go, look out. That was the 9, and he just kept going all the way into the end zone for the touchdown.
And in hindsight, probably should have stayed where he was, as he'll only get back to the 16-yard line. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Check Mike 54. Mike 54. All day.
2nd and 15. A fight for the football, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 38, and his guys are going to take over at the 39-yard line. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. They'll run on 1st down. It's Daniel. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. They get 14 there. 1st down, Vikings. We're off to the 4th quarter here in Week 15. Happy holidays to all. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports.
Let's go, D. Big series right here. We got to step it up. Kill.
They'll run it here. This is their fullback getting the carry. And he's going to take this one down to about the 23-yard line. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
25. Check 25. Blue draw Corkers. 45.
And now a carry here for the fullback. And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, so that doesn't help. Now they're looking up at a 3rd and 9 situation. On third down, Daniel. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. 12 yards there, first down Vikings.
Brandon, when a defense just simply can't get off the field on third down, and we all know how important that down is for both sides of the ball, you often feel like you're just a step behind whatever they're doing offensively.
And one of the differences in this game, no doubt, third down conversion, and that is going to be a story they'll talk about after this one. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. On second down now, it's Daniel, and he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. It'll be a loss of a yard, and it'll be 3rd and 10.
And it's 3rd down.
Ready. 60 outlaw. Shit. Hey, check 24. Check 24.
They'll try the left side. It's Daniel, and they go the wrong way on this one. Losing yardage back at the 12. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th. Hey, a lot of points have been scored in this game against them, but tally that one on the side of the defense.
Do you think maybe, possibly, it could be a little bit of a changer for them? Maybe not a game changer, but a little bit of a momentum one that maybe they can string together some pretty good plays and slow them down.
So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the 4th.
And you know in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And he probably should have stayed in the end zone as he'll muster a return up to only the 14-yard line.
In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover if they want to try and put points on the board.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack him here. A pass there over the middle to start things out. And brought down, but not before reaching the 25. He'll get a dozen there, and the Lions have a first down.
Hey, lock it.
Back to throw now on first down. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's second down. Just nothing there again. He's been sacked multiple times. We've seen the interceptions, of course. He's really been through the ringer, hasn't he?
And what we've seen is a defense is well coordinated. The front and the back really in sync. The front putting on the pressure.
And that's caught inside the 35. Detroit. Mike Williams, his second touchdown on the season. And the Lions are able to cut into this lead.
As a fan, is there anything prettier than a well-executed post route?
No, it's a thing of beauty, especially when it's done like that for a touchdown.
The throw, the catch, and how about the run after to get it to the end zone?
That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25.
Let's go. At their own 26-yard line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They had the double-digit lead at halftime, and they have continued to roll. They're hard to stop right now.
I think what we're seeing is an example of a team that has it figured out in this ball game. And whatever the adjustments are the defense has made, hasn't slowed them, hasn't phased them at all. They either anticipated them or they've been so far ahead that they just can't catch up.
Now it's just a search to add to the lead. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. That one, a first down pickup of 8.
Well, I don't think there's any question, Brandon, at this stage, the stop troops, the defensive guys, they've got to use their 3 timeouts here. They've got to stop them and get the ball back.
Yeah, if you're in that 2 to 3 score deficit window that they're in now, you got to get it it ASAP.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Stop them, use your timeouts. Easier to move the ball on offense without timeouts than to stop them on defense without using them.
Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be second down. On second down, it's Daniel. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the fourth quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
And he gets this to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out. 17 yards, first down, Vikings. This quarterback now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10.
Tighten up, tighten up, tighten up.
They'll try and run with their fullback. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Well, big man with ball met bigger man on the other side of the line. A really nice play for the defense.
On second down now, it's Daniel. And a pretty good run as he'll get this down close to a first at the Lions' 33. The offense on third down tonight, they're hitting at 60%, 6 out of 10 thus far. They're looking at third in the nose of the football. And we are inside of 2 minutes left in this lopsided affair. So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. They've got a 4th down here in a game that looks to have been decided already. And his kick is absolutely perfect. And that'll push the lead from 24 up to 27. These kickers now, it used to be that a 50-plus yarder was cause for celebration. Now seemingly automatic.
Yeah, isn't it funny when we prepare for a game, when you look at the backgrounds of these kickers, it's interesting, isn't it, to find out they were all-state quarterbacks, receivers, defensive backs, all-state wrestlers, right? Baseball players. We're finding athletes all along, and now they're just specialists putting it through the posts.
Hey, box drop, box drop.
They'll come out throwing here on first down. Throwing left side here, and it's complete. First down Lions on a pickup of 13. This quarterback now 9 of 15 throwing the ball, 60%, and it's 1st and 10. Another incompletion. You know, it's a wonder he's still moving around back there the number of times he's been sacked.
Yeah, he's staying out there, isn't he? And you don't think about it much in a game like this, but he's showing incredible leadership. Still competing, still fighting, not taking himself out of it.
And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off at the 40. And they take possession of the football and have it at the 36-yard line.
So many times we end a game, and as we're recapping it, we're talking about what offenses did and how they won the game. Let's flip this one over. The defense, they frustrated the offense the entire ball game. That's why they're walking out of here with a victory.
And they're going to love to walk out of here with that as their final act, that interception. Good way for them to end it. Give them 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
Topper!
They'll keep it on the ground. Daniel, he'll get the first down and more inside the 20. And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals. So another score there, and often you talk about the 3 phases of the game. Defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a 4th phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
They are looking strong here in the 4th quarter.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage.
Lions 10.
Dash, got it on smash, foot on the gas. I will not crash, they will not stop me. Tenfold, copy, end zone, watch me celebrate. I'm cocky, I do my dance, jump in the stands. No man, man, oh deal with the hands. Thought he could guard me, I ruin they plans. I do what I want, they do what they can. Got it on smash, foot on the gas. I will not crash, 100-yard dash, 100-yard dash. 100-yard dash, 100-yard dash, 100-yard dash, yeah. They can't catch up cause they lacking the stamina. Way too advanced to be playing with amateurs. Stay on attack when I tackle like damager. They react and play it back on the camera. Hot boy, just consider me flammable. Sure shot, I got all the intangibles. Need a leash, I'm a beast, I'm an animal. Eat the competition up like a Hannibal. Know the game like I wrote up the manual. I do weekly what you do on the annual. MVP, that decision unanimous. Big dogs, I don't think they can handle it. Battlefield, it's just me and my warriors. Guaranteed we emerge victorious. Years, blood, sweat, tears, it's glorious. I remember when they always ignoring us. Dash, got it on smash, foot on the gas. I will not crash, they will not stop me. Tenfold, copy, end zone, watch me celebrate. I'm cocky, I do my dance, jump in the stands. No man, man, oh deal with the hands. Thought he could guard me, I ruin they plans. I do what I want, they do what they can. Got it on smash, foot on the gas. I will not crash, 100-yard dash, 100-yard dash, 100-yard dash, 100-yard dash, 100-yard dash. They slept on the team that they owe me. I need a ring and a trophy. I say I'm the best cause I am. It's no need in keeping it low-key. I can carve up the D like a turkey or run straight through the D like a train. This year we ain't taking no losses. It's all about making the game. I hear a lot of trash talk. He call himself making a name. I put on the Jets. The coach will regret even letting them stay in the game. Team morale took a tumble. Next time be humble. I'm the lion in the jungle. You just try not to fumble. Rumble, young man, rumble. Never slip nor stumble. I take off, poof, magic. Now watch me juke through the traffic. Footwork fantastic. Dominating every facet.